Welcome to Cephastock Movie Recaps.
We're in here.
Today we take a look at The Ones Who Live, episode 1 to 4 in the Walking Dead series.
We can make it.
Rick Grimes, our hero, is back. We're thrust into Rick's world via his ominous narration, a letter he's writing to Michonne.
No, I'm gonna
His voice trembles as he admits, I tried. Alone in a bare apartment, a TV shows the aftermath of an explosion. Rick's hope has dwindled. He even slices his neck with glass, but survival instincts kick in. Something about this despair feels particularly grim. Now, let's rewind 5 years after the bridge explosion. Rick, wearing the same CRM jacket from the Walking Dead finale, navigates the woods at night. His mission? Achieving Civic Republic citizenship. But there's a catch. He's tethered to a CRM soldier, hacking away at fiery walkers. He seizes his chance to escape. In a bold move, guess what? He chops off his own hand to break free. On his run he could not move due to the high blood loss. He decides to cauterize his wounded hand within the dead walker chest burner. But alas, his escape plan flops. They catch him right away. In his dream, Rick exists in a world untouched by apocalypse. It's eerily idyllic.
where things are.
Lost and seeking direction, he asks Michonne for help reading his map.
You'll get there.
Their meet-cute moment becomes a metaphor. Rick is lost both in his dream and emotionally in his unnerving reality. Safety only comes when he's with his dream version of Michonne, a businesswoman on her lunch break. Rick's position-heavy narration fills us in on what happened after the bridge explosion. He woke up in a military hospital, found by an army tasked with protecting a fully functioning city. Their code,
so no one can
security and secrecy above all.
follows that one
The Civic Republic operates separately from the military.
waste.
Rescued people work as consignees in the outskirts, killing walkers for energy and managing waste.
I was trapped. I couldn't get back to you.
After 6 years of labor, consignees can integrate into the city and live a normal life. Donald Okafor, their overseer, advises Rick to surrender to the system instead of attempting yet another futile escape.
It worked.
But Rick's emotions are hard to hide.
He didn't know what to do.
Okafor sees potential in him for the CRM army.
He wanted me to join his program.
There's no escape for the living. Next time it's your life.
Rick's friend Esteban suggests a daring plan: join the army, gain Okafor's trust, and then make a run for it.
Just to get him off your back.
Thorn, another rebel consignee, surprises Rick by joining the training. Armed with a fake fist and a real plan, Rick infiltrates the system. But why does no-nonsense Okafor keep Rick around? The CRM classifies Rick and Thorn as those unafraid to fight injustice and challenge authority. Okafor wants them alive, even though they usually favor the more compliant BS. His goal:
Escape.
overthrow the current system. Rick plays along, but beneath his loyalty lies a fierce determination.
Bees get in.
The CRM's logo, a trio of circles, represents its alliance with Portland and Omaha. Major General Beale remains skeptical of Rick's true intentions.
Sacrifice.
But Rick's not interested in climbing the CRM ladder, he just wants answers.
Look at
Rick's resource run takes an unexpected turn.
a while, Grimes.
Esteban spills the beans about a certain pothole leading underground.
Not right, but you don't have.
Rick's still clueless about the CRM's dark side. For now, he's focused on escaping.
Back to you.
On a mission, he plans to fake his death using dog tags on a burned walker. But fate intervenes. A little girl surrounded by walkers needs saving. Rick can't turn away. His friend Thorn tells him not to try that again, cause she saw everything Rick was trying to do, that Okafor will hunt him down, if he tries escaping. She reminds Rick that Okafor knows more than he thinks.
Grimes.
In a daring move, Rick sneaks into Okafor's room while he sleeps, setting the stage for an intense confrontation.
But time.
Rick Grimes, our hero, is caught in a tight spot. Okafor, the no-nonsense guy, warns him, escape, and I'll hunt you down. Yeah, they know where they picked Rick up, no vanishing act allowed.
And
Rick, fueled by passion, stands his ground.
My people.
Why won't you let me go home? You don't get to decide for me, he declares. But Okafor's got his own story. Back in the day, he was an Air Force pilot.
Los Angeles!
When the outbreak hit, he faced a grim choice: bomb cities to stop the spread or give people a fighting chance.
World!
He chose the latter, even if it meant bombing troops, including his wife, instead of Philadelphia. On TV, news breaks: Omaha was bombed, and the CRM now forms an alliance of two. The details remain murky, but Thorne insists Rick must stay with the CRM to survive. The shards of glass from the opening scene come full circle. We're back where we started. Rick, teetering on the edge, decides against ending his life. He writes a final letter to Michonne, even though he doubts it'll ever reach her.
The whole time.
To move forward, he burns everything he found of Michonne's. But in his dream, Rick waits for her with a pizza. They share a kiss, and despite their circumstances, Michonne believes they can conquer anything together. In the present, Rick co-pilots a helicopter with Okafor.
I was thirsty.
Amidst gunfire and explosions, Okafor takes a fatal hit. Rick Land crashes the helicopter, barely escaping. But he's ambushed, held at Katana Point. Michonne, our sword-wielding hero, is back. Armored and alive, reveals herself.
My name is Michonne.
Michonne's with a migratory caravan group.
That's for some help myself.
This group has a rule that they don't stop to save anyone in their group who suddenly finds themselves in a bind, which is, like, the opposite of what a community is.
We have a community.
Through some exposition, we learn that the man and woman Michonne saved, Bailey and Aiden, belong to this community, and Aiden's sister Elle runs the place.
Be with us from now on, say the word.
Uriah's Michonne carries a very, thanks, but no thanks, attitude regarding joining the group, and really wants to keep her travels to Bridger's shipyard in New Jersey moving. For a brief moment, Michonne declines their offer and decides to go solo, but at least she now has a horse and some armor to keep her company.
You too.
Her attempt at this, as well as her radioing home to Virginia to Judith and RJ, proves futile. But here's the snag: a massive walker herd blocks her path. These walkers, like a twisted parade, move in eerie patterns. Nat hands her a mini rocket launcher. Her mission: scatter those undead like confetti. And then, the gas man. Holding fuel tanks, he detonates, sending Michonne sprawling. But wait. Someone else ignites bigger fires, parting the Walker Sea. Her new crew ditches their mean caravan.
Want to be afraid?
They're all about saving lives now.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Their goal:
Oh my God.
help Michonne reunite with Rick. But first, they stumble upon a CRM helicopter. Not friendly, it rains poisonous gas. Tragedy strikes, the couple Michonne saved doesn't make it. Nat survives, though. He and Michonne recover, side by side, for a year. Now, they're back on the road. Their secret weapon: a walker pulling their cart. Yep, Michonne's unstoppable. Michonne, our sword-swinging survivor, stumbles upon the community tied to Rick's boat. But it's a grim sight: destruction, death. Rick wasn't here, he'd merely tossed that hopeful message onto the waves. Michonne doesn't know that.
This is where it was
The
last.
trail's cold, and she reluctantly accepts that Rick's probably gone.
Little bit long.
Homeward bound to Alexandria, she encounters a CRM helicopter. Nat, fueled by vengeance for his fallen friends, straps on his rocket launcher backpack. Boom! We're back to the scene from episode 1. Now we get it: CRM wiped out Michonne's new pals. No wonder she despises them. But wait. The last soldier. Rick. Cue the dramatic reunion. Rick Grimes and Michonne embrace for an extended moment. Nat's like, whoa, that's Rick.
Well, how the
But then, Nat is shot from the back by a surviving CRM soldier. Michonne's new besties, all gone.
Off the ground.
Rick's quick on his feet. More helicopters tail them. They can't outrun them. Surrender's the only option. Now Michonne infiltrates the CRM as Dana. She plays down her skills because being an strong leader means death. Inside the CRM, secrets brew. Escapes the plan. But will they make it out alive?
Time ago.
Michonne, our fearless warrior, drops a bombshell on Rick.
Quiet.
They're gassing random civilians out there. Rick, ever the pragmatist, shrugs. Not my department, but yeah, they're shady.
Together.
But Michonne's not one to sit back. We've gotta stop them, she insists. Bring the CRM down. Rick, seasoned and skeptical, knows the CRM's strength. Meanwhile, someone's been watching Michonne's interview. Surprise, it's Jodi's, the trash lady from The Walking Dead, with an even worse haircut. We've learned from the world beyond that Jodi's is now a CRM intelligence operative. She recognizes Michonne but keeps it under wraps, for now. Her condition.
That I like.
No funny business. If Rick and Michonne escape or cause trouble, she'll have to eliminate them and everyone in Alexandria. Now, let's rewind to a flashback inside the CRM's main city, a stunning downtown Philly. New consignees like Rick get a field trip to see what they're working toward. At the French fry stand, Rick meets Jodi's, who, surprise, has an actual normal haircut.
It's the CRM.
She spills the beans. The CRM found her trash people living in the dump. Instead of killing them, they contracted them to keep an eye on the area.
Here.
Jodi's smirks at Rick, you're welcome for saving your life.
You're a threat?
But Rick's not buying it. To him, she's the one who abducted him, turning him into a prisoner.
Fine way to spend.
Fast forward to the present. Michonne, now a consignee herself, goes by the fake name Dana. But here's the catch, if they think you're a strong leader, the CRM will eliminate you.
Why don't you guess?
So Michonne needs to play it cool. But she's immediately way too cool.
was laying on my
Rick confides in Major Thorne, his best friend.
cigarette, found me.
He doesn't spill the beans about Michonne, but he needs Thorne's help.
Gave me a choice.
Convince them she's a B, not an A. Mentor Okafor recognized them as A's too.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's trying to bring more A's into the CRM to change it from within.
That was you back then.
Enter Major General Beale, the top dog. He's got his eyes on these rising stars, Okafor's protégés.
Martial arts, the
Rick's multiple escape attempts make Beale wary. But he promotes Thorne, who's now high up in CRM ranks.
He told me if he
Her promotion, and with it came a top-secret briefing about the CRM's activities.
visit her for the opening.
The information was heavy, but she kept it to herself, not even telling Rick. His main goal remained clear, escape. One day, Rick slipped Michonne a note with instructions and left her katana. She fought her way through dark subway tunnels, determined to reach Rick's secret area. But when she arrived, Rick was gone. Instead, there was a note, you have to leave without me.
You'll go.
I'll cover for you. Rick confronted Jodi's, revealing that he'd helped Michonne escape.
Sword in a consign.
To protect herself, Jodi's agreed to make it look like Michonne had died.
To nose.
And then, unexpectedly, Rick told Jodi's that her haircut looks weird. But Michonne defied Rick's plan. She couldn't leave without him.
Safety number.
When he questioned her, she simply stared him down.
I'm that for you.
Was Rick broken? She wondered. During her own exploration of the city, she stumbled upon an artist who painted portraits on phone screens. He recognized her. Rick had often asked him to draw Michonne and Judith.
She's okay.
When Rick lost hope, this artist inscribed a Japanese phrase on the portrait, believe just a little bit longer. Now, Rick and Thorne wanted to bring Michonne to their secret meeting place with Okafor.
I would call him.
They knew she was secretly a strong leader. But Rick didn't trust Thorne enough to reveal that he already knew Michonne.
But it didn't seem
The stakes were high, and Michonne had a choice to make.
Justice based
Rick and Thorne, an unlikely pair, had become close friends.
of this force.
But there was tension.
Yeah.
Thorne would do whatever it took, even kill, to survive.
You can return to the vehicle.
Now, they were on a cross-country helicopter ride back to their secret base in the Pacific Northwest.
Expanded the
A massive summit awaited them, gathering all the CRM's top leaders.
reaches about
Something big was brewing suspiciously close to Portland.
pace.
Their mission today, clear out walkers, or as the CRM called them, Delts. Thorne, the fearless leader, pushed forward with a mysterious bomb. Michonne, on backup duty, watched closely. When Thorne struggled, Michonne couldn't stay idle. She grabbed the bomb and pushed ahead. Rick joined her, and together, they mowed down the undead. The bomb triggered an alarm, drawing even more walkers. It exploded, taking them out. Michonne whispered, "Why don't we escape now? We're in the middle of nowhere." But Rick hesitated. He hadn't told her about Jodi's threat. When Michonne returned after outshining Thorne, jealousy flared. Thorne aimed her gun. Rick stepped in, shielding Michonne. Thorne seethed, she broke protocol. "I want her gone."
Follow it.
Rick's anger matched Thorne's.
The consignee back.
Later, Michonne spotted Jodi's.
In here.
The tension escalated. He declared, "We're heading back to base. You'll have to escape without me." The stakes were high, and Michonne faced a choice, loyalty or freedom. They were flying back, but a fierce storm engulfed them. In that chaos, Michonne saw her chance. She grabbed Rick and, with determination, yeeted them both out of the helicopter. Rick Grimes and Michonne emerge from stormy waters after leaping from a CRM helicopter. They find refuge in an automated apartment that shows signs of recent habitation. They're both upset about something, so they don't talk much. Rick notices a scar on Michonne's lower back but doesn't mention it. After she changes into dry clothes, Michonne secretly keeps a PRB radio with her.
Yours, huh?
She tries to connect with Rick by talking about their daughter, Judith. Rick is emotional but stays quiet.
A creative
When Michonne accidentally says the word children, Rick is puzzled.
one to tell them.
Children.
Children.
She then tells him about their 8-year-old son, RJ.
When the bridge happened.
Finally, Rick speaks up and shocks Michonne by asking for the PRB.
I need to keep
She gets really angry, and they argue for a while.
one
Michonne urges Rick not to let the CRM win.
not to show.
But Rick reveals the truth about Jodi Stokes, who saved him once and now poses a threat.
You
Michonne suggests ways to deal with Jodi's, but Rick has answers for everything.
win.
He still insists on the PRB.
People will find us.
When Michonne asks if he loves her, he quietly says yes. They realize their helicopter crashed nearby, offering a way out, but Rick stubbornly refuses to go back home.
No.
Michonne keeps trying to talk to Rick by sharing stories about their kids, Judith and RJ, calling Rick the brave man.
Nat, my
But Rick stays quiet. Finally, he speaks up and says he's doing everything to protect her and their children.
Have to make sure
Michonne isn't convinced.
you're innocent people.
She points out that he's using the words, Okafor's mission, to explain himself. She wants him to realize that their family is more important than the mysterious CRM group.
lying.
Frustrated, she leaves, saying he's lying to himself. They separate, but both hesitate to go after each other. Eventually, Rick gives in. As he leaves, they see a CRM helicopter in the background. Suddenly, another helicopter fires missiles at the nearby building. Rick finds Michonne on the ground floor. He explains that the CRM never leaves evidence behind. The blast shakes the building, and walkers flood in.
Have a weapon, Commander.
Rick and Michonne barricade themselves in what seems to be a gym. Michonne even finds humor in a suicide note left by someone named Lakshmi Patel.
So clear.
They argue more.
Now like a sick.
Rick claims Michonne doesn't understand his intentions, and she says he's not acting like himself.
The world their own way.
He asks how sacrificing everything to keep her safe isn't really him.
To the
Michonne thinks she's making progress with Rick.
That's not.
She tells him she feels safe when he's around.
raid.
But then Rick shocks her by saying he's not the brave man she thought he was.
Yes, you did.
He even suggests she shouldn't have come looking for him.
Right.
Michonne insists that the bold Rick would never say that to her, hinting that he might have changed.
Go.
Suddenly, there's a noise at the door, and they focus on escaping. They fight their way through the zombies in the collapsing building. Michonne gets trapped under a huge chandelier. Rick has to take it apart to free her. While he works, she narrowly avoids getting bitten by walkers.
Thank you.
Adrenaline and a near-death experience lead to an unexpected moment. They end up in bed together. Rick faces some performance issues, but they overcome it.
So he's really good looking.
Later, lying in bed, Michonne shares stories about their kids.
Yes.
They're interrupted by a Roomba, which makes them laugh. Their conversation shifts to the CRM.
You have the
Michonne gets frustrated, accusing Rick of lying to himself.
I'm sorry.
She notices his injured hand and asks if it happened while trying to get home. Rick admits it did, but she insists he can't go back to the CRM either.
It's not time to go.
Michonne explains to Rick that he's had the PBR all along but hasn't used it. They hear distant creaking and rumbling, signaling that they need to move soon.
Really died.
Despite the urgency, Michonne won't leave until they know where they're going.
Much from me because
Rick once came looking for her when she left, and Michonne asks why. He confesses that she's the love of his life.
I get it.
They talk about their daughter, Judith, and Michonne's emotional confession about not speaking to Judith for nearly a year.
Dead and live.
Rick then reveals that the CRM stole his dreams of her and their son, Carl.
Longer than me. Without
Michonne gives him a phone with Carl's picture drawn on it and asks what he wants to do with this second chance. As they work their way out of the collapsing building, Rick seems like a changed man with a new perspective on life. Outside, they find a hybrid Nissan with extra containers of ethanol.
tanks of ethanol.
The only catch is that it's a stick shift, so Michonne has to drive.
something I say.
Episode 4 ends with the apartment building collapsing in the rearview mirror as they drive away. Watch out for episode 5 and 6 in the next video. Be able to subscribe, if you haven't yet.
You tell me.
Check out for more interesting movie recaps on this channel. Stay blessed.